this is part 5 of the Great Bay Temple. And even though I've kind of railed on this temple a lot tonight...
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. This is actually one of my favorite parts of this temple, and honestly in the game in general. I feel like in this next 6 or 7 minutes, we're going to do a lot more like platforming type action, where we're doing a lot of jumping. And even though obviously I miss a few jumps, it's not a Mario game for crying out loud. But I feel like it was a new dimension to this dungeon, and honestly to this game that wasn't there before.
Well, I think in that room, you're kind of talking about like the seesaw room, right?
Oh my goodness.
Where you like cut out the water flows to the ice area, or however it works. Like it's really like it's kind of like the first room where there's really no water in it.
Yeah,
they got like really every room up to this point. Well, obviously it's a water dungeon, but like it's kind of the first room that it doesn't have water. It kind of just switches up right before the end.
Yeah, and plus I really love the concept of switching between the fire and ice arrows to advance on through. And
I did like that,
and you'll see that here in a few minutes. It's just nice to have a throwback to a previous weapon, like that, as always. But
we kind of talk about like how you do like dungeons in Zelda and like you use an item. Yeah, we mentioned it many times. Like and then after you get done with that dungeon,
you forget about it.
Yeah, you really don't use it that much throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, just the jumping in this section, it's not obviously as precise as like a Mario or something like that.
That's a sweet hook shot. I'm sorry, like I can't believe that. Like when you made that second time, I was like, that would have taken me forever.
Honestly, after I missed the first time, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be on this platform for 10 minutes.
I couldn't believe you actually hit that on the second try. That was very impressive.
Me neither, trust me.
Well, I guess like you're supposed to wait till like your dot like comes up on that torch or whatever.
Yeah.
And I still can't. I've tried it before. I still can't do it.
And it's like even though it looks like you're going to miss because your platform keeps moving, your hook shot knows what to do. It goes for that target.
The physics of that do not work whatsoever.
Yeah. And I am going to go ahead and apologize for this. We do have to freeze.
I've never messed up.
We have to freeze this platform once we're at the top.
I love how you freeze it, and then you look up like right here, and you're like, wait a second.
And that's the
platform. Oh, crap. And this is like when you realize right there that you screwed up.
Oh, it's yeah. And
look up, oh no.
Yeah, but I even though I screwed up here, I do like how they implement again, the using the fire and ice arrows. Again,
you didn't necessarily have to use it right there, though.
I should not have needed the fire arrow.
So when you're bringing back fire arrows, was that part of the dungeon or a red mistake is why the fire arrow was used?
It's cool that they gave you the option.
Yeah.
And thank God I
don't know what I haven't used the fire arrow on the wall. I'm going to use it right now.
I'm
My name's Red. I'm going to use a red weapon.
Hey, I got to go with what works for me.
Yeah.
But it is cool, though, to shut down this water wheel now. I mean, we've spent so much time trying to get it turning, trying to reverse directions, all that stuff. And now we're like, nope, we're done with it.
This is really the first time it stopped, because, I mean, we bounced it in that one room where there was, like, red and yellow.
Yep.
I think it was. But, yeah, this is, like, the first time we've actually stopped it, though.
Yeah. And I got to say, I thought it was pretty cool trying to jump and land on that, the bar, I guess, it was in the middle. I didn't hit it every time, but I thought it was a pretty cool little effect.
It's kind of nice, and I just now noticed this about the theme, is, like, when that thing stopped, that part of the theme stopped, which obviously makes complete sense. But like I just never noticed that until now. Like it's kind of nice to get away from that sound for a little while.
I feel like
it's a little more peaceful now.
And the dungeon theme stands out a lot more now. Like you don't have that
clicking like wheel sound. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you're in this huge there's a giant turbine running through here. When it shuts down, everything else becomes a little louder and clearer. I mean, you're exactly right. I hadn't really even noticed that until now.
That was a good jump.
I know.
And you even flipped in the process.
Every
Did you
now and
do
then.
that?
Oh, yeah.
But you missed that one right there, though.
Shh, no one knows the transition. It's okay. But it is pretty cool to shut it down there. I mean, although it feels weird after we spent so much time trying to get it going.
I just like how you mentioned that you love the combination of ice and fire arrows, and the only reason that ever happened is because of a mistake you made.
We use them in here. We use them in this room, thankfully.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, yeah, if that was the only reason to use them.
I totally forgot we used them in here. Dang it.
And here's...
my bad.
Hey, every now and then I know what I'm talking about. Not often, but every now and then. And this is another one of those fairies. It's like, man, if you didn't know it was down there, how would you...
Well, I guess you could take off your mask. Well, but could you break... I don't think you could break with it. Well, you would float to the top, so yeah, you couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, so... although I guess if you see that deep part, you're going to go see what's in there.
Yeah. I'm sure I ran right past that. I probably just thought that the seesaw seat went down in. Like, really, if you're looking at it from an angle, it just looks like that thing goes in there.
And this is what I was mentioning right off the bat, like, or that Hick and I were both mentioning. This seesaw part I thought was really well done. Where we're gonna melt one block to raise us up. We're gonna turn another one back on.
It is a very cool room, and I would agree. It is one of my more favorite rooms, really, in Majora's Mask.
Yeah, and it definitely helps to make this dungeon a little more enjoyable. I mean, I know Hick is thinking it's pretty cool, and honestly, going back and watching it now,
especially when somebody else plays it, it's a lot cooler when somebody else plays it.
Like playing it at this point, especially after that room where I spent about 45 minutes in earlier, I was getting pretty frustrated, just ready to be done with this dungeon. But this is a much more, I feel like, peaceful. And you mentioned that with the theme too. But I think it's much more peaceful, leisurely part of the dungeon where you can kind of take your time solving these puzzles. You don't have to worry about the water flow as much. I mean, even though it's
the calm before the storm with the boss fight. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Because it's not, in my opinion, it's not one of the easier boss fights.
No. And man, here's you mentioned those stupid mice with the bomb.
Now, why did you not use your shit? Like, you got so lucky right here, and I don't know what you were thinking. Like, did you just say screw it by that point? You're like, I'm going to just go with this.
My goal was to try to get away from him. And
you weren't even. At least he blew you back onto the pipe.
Oh, it was a perfect.
Because you would have to do all those seesaw things again, right?
I believe so.
Oh,
it knocked me off. We could cut that. Don't worry.
Oh, I don't know. I might have left that one in. That would have been priceless.
Well, you at least left him blowing me off.
Well, I was sitting there when I was in this video. I was like, he's gonna put his shut up. No, he's gonna put his shut up. And then nope, you just said, no, forget it. We're going for it.
I thought I could climb the platform and get away from him.
Yeah, dude, those things are so quick though.
Dude, he got me pretty good.
Yeah. Ooh, I like how you just ignore this guy. Like, oh, yeah, I got this guy. He just keeps on hitting you.
I was just gonna let him have his moment. You know, enemies don't get a lot of moments in Zelda games.
Yeah.
You kill a lot of them.
Hey, chump, you only cost me one heart and you hit me 3 times. What's that say about your life?
Exactly. Hey, Link's kind of a BA, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're not talking Bachelor of Arts.
No, definitely not.
But this will wrap up part 5 of the Great Bay Temple.